Hey everyone, today it's Q&A number 20! Shalom everybody, welcome to Beit Tefillah and Q&A number 20. If you're new to this channel, this is where we take a lot of questions that we've received maybe through Facebook, right here on YouTube or other social media, and we put them here in these Q&A videos. If you have a question, you can post it below in the comments or you can email it to us at the email address you'll find for us at the end of all of these videos. And if we do use your question, we will keep you anonymous, of course. Okay, let's hit the first question.
Have you found any verses on scripturally clean or unclean fruits, vegetables, grains, etc.? To rephrase the question, are there verses that mention what would make fruits, vegetables, grains, etc. unclean?
Unclean, I don't believe the Torah mentions anything unclean as far as vegetables, fruits, or grains as it does for meat, which we can eat or which we can eat. It tells us, or it specifies which types of animals, birds, insects, fish, or creatures in the sea that we can eat, but it doesn't really talk about plant material. Other than this verse here from Genesis 1:29. And Elohim said, "See, I have given you every plant that yields seed which is on the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed. To you it is for food." And for this verse right here is precisely the reason why we didn't eat seedless watermelon for many years, because we figured that if man took the seeds out, then it didn't fit in this command, so we didn't want any part of it. And there's quite a few other people thinking this way right now as they're trying to be obedient as well, but we found out with the seeds that's not always true. Seedless plants are not uncommon, but they do occur naturally or can be manipulated by a plant grower without using genetic engineering techniques. Most current seedless fruits are not genetically modified, so that's a relief to know. All types of seedless fruit fall under a category called parthenocarpy, if I said that right. It's a Greek word meaning virgin fruit. This is a situation where fruit develops without fertilization of the ovule, so fertilization and seed development does not occur, and there are no seed traces inside or seed remnants inside the fruit. Some plants that are capable of producing seed may have sterile pollen or other reasons why they can't form seed. And to produce seed, they require being pollinated by different types of that species. You might have heard the term, well, you need a pollinator for that. Like we have some Granny Smith apple trees, and the best pollinator for that is a crab apple. So it's a different type, really, okay? A lot of plants, when they're planted in large groups, they're going to wind up being surrounded by genetically identical copies of themselves, which causes them to produce this parthenocarpic fruit. This is what happens with a lot of citrus varieties as well, and why a lot of times when you cut open your oranges, there's not seeds in them. But I should digress, as what I'm saying now is a long way from the original question. I just wanted to pass that information along. But with all of that being said, God did give us plants and fruit that yield seed inside as food for us, so we should try to strive for that. I typically prefer seeded watermelon anyway because it tastes a whole lot better, and I feel better knowing that God would approve of us eating that as well.
Yeah, I had to kind of teach myself to like to eat the seeds because I was just picking them out, and that's inconvenient. And so as I studied about the seeds, I learned that they have nutritional value also. Yeah. And so many things are made that when you eat one part of the plant and the other part, they have, I think it's called cofactors that help absorb the nutrients together. Is it called a cofactor?
I think so.
Yeah. And so that made me like to eat the seeds better. Then the more I think about issues that we talk about in society, I'd rather eat something that is able to be productive, that seems to be fruitful and multiplying. So it might be a choice like my grandma used to say, good, better, best, never let it rest till the good is better and the better's best.
Yeah. Props to grandma. Yeah. Well, you never know what you're going to get as far as, like they sell grapeseed or grapeseed extract. It's, there's got to be a benefit to eating the seeds with the fruit that surrounds them. So I would think that's pretty important. So we don't know. There may be more reasons that scientists doesn't know yet why it's beneficial to eat fruit with seeds in them too. But it is a commandment, so I think we should strive for that.
If you eat those seeds, be careful. Take care of your teeth and everything.
Yeah. That's it. Watch those avocados now. Okay, this next question is for Betsy, so I'm going to ask it. Do you feel it's necessary for women to keep their heads covered?
Well, most people get this idea from 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verses 5 and 6. It says, "And every woman praying or prophesying with her head uncovered brings shame to her head, for that is one and the same as if her head were shaved. For if a woman is not covered, let her also be shorn. But if it is a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaved, let her be covered." Scott says it's a bizarre footnote reference to Numbers 5:18. "And the priest shall make the woman stand before Yahuwah, and shall uncover the woman's head, and put the offering for remembering in her hands, which is the grain offering of jealousy, while the priest holds in his hand the bitter water that brings a curse." Those were the only two verses that I could find while I was a Torah observant Messianic. And so since neither of them were commands, I didn't believe that I needed to do that. And then as I studied, though, I was using the King James Version and Strong's, which I know is not a favorite of many people, but that's how I was raised, that if I was going to get the truth, I was supposed to go to.
Yeah.
And as I studied the Strong's word for covering and saw that it could have to do with authority, my mind traveled to the priest may have been just taking the authority from the husband's responsibility for her before he had her take the jealousy right.
Yeah. Bottom
And so-
line is, there's no command for it in Torah. There's none. It was probably more of a custom back
Yeah.
then, a Hebraic custom. I mean, they're walking around in the wilderness, right? And they're living where they're not, they don't have showers back then for every single day like we do now. So they're probably trying to keep their head covered and keep their hair probably cleaner. That's kind of
Yeah.
what I think. It was more of a custom.
I liked it when I tried it. It was nice to have a bad hair day covered, and it felt good to do works, but it's not a command, and it doesn't say you're going to get struck for doing it either.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and you can't add to Torah, so.
oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. All right, the next question is for Betsy to answer, so I'm going to ask it. Are there teachings out there or online for children that you know of?
Scott has been asked that question a lot over the years, and we hadn't really known of anybody doing that until just a month or two ago
Yeah.
when we heard of Grandma's Chair. And when I went to look at the little readings that they have, they're very nice, down to earth, simple, like a very nice grandma's lesson.
Yeah. And they're not religious. They're not based on any religion, just the Torah.
Yep, Torah-based, non-messianic website.
Yeah.
And so we think it's great that they're doing that. We're happy to tell you about it. I pray that they are successful in that and that it's encouraging and enjoyable for children to grow in a relationship with our source.
It's the only one we know of that's really doesn't have like a religious slant to it, but it is Torah based. You can just go to www.grandmaschair.org. I'm going to put a link below in the description for that too. Okay?
Next question is, what have you guys been up to?
Lots and lots. Wow, we've been busy. It was good that I thought I didn't have anything more to say here and that I felt impressed to retire from this channel. So that let me catch up on doing a lot around here because my commitment to obey Elohim and thinking I had to do more here wouldn't have allowed me to do everything I had to do in the last 2 years as far as building a little barn and doing the remodeling and getting everything done on the house that we moved into. And I'm sure some of you probably saw some of my previous videos about some of the damage I did to my body in a work accident about 40 years ago. Well, I have been recovering slowly, and I am way more flexible and my endurance is better, but it still requires me to work shorter days sometimes, and sometimes there are some things that I just can't physically do. So I'm very grateful to have family to help do things like put the roof on the shed and do a lot of fencing around the property because we got a lot done around here, and I couldn't have done all that without my family's help. Mm-hmm. And I still alternate between doing things that are physically challenging, creatively necessary, and desk projects. I still get a lot of questions sent to me that I try to answer during my desk breaks, which aren't as common as they used to be years ago, so I don't get to answer everybody's question. But some of these questions made me realize, especially when I get a lot of them on one topic, wow, I should have done a video on that one, I should have done a video on this one or whatever before I retired. So that's why we're releasing more content now, and we will be throughout the year. And I'll be stopping again at some point in time. I'm just not sure exactly when that's going to be.
Do you have any more upcoming videos?
Yes, we have more videos in the works that will be released in the future. Different topics like on eternal life, the third temple, and Christianity and pleasing God, just to name a few. But there's going to be more coming out throughout the year. We're also toying about doing some videos about what others think or finding in the Tanakh as far as oddities or discrepancies, but we're not sure if we really want to go there or not, at least not on this channel.
You've been rough on the New Testament, and you need to scrutinize the Old Testament too.
Well, we have to look at some parts of it, I think, because, it talks about the lying pen of the scribes, and people think that there were parts added to the Tanakh, and certain things just don't line up. But I'm not going to go into that now. I may not even go into that, and we may do another channel for that, because I just don't know if I want to do it here. But I think it's important to seek out all matters and to try to find the truth in all things. And if somebody did put something in the Tanakh that Elohim didn't want in there, then I think we're not above questioning it and asking if it's of him. But anyway, that's all we have for this video. Thanks for watching, everybody, and thanks for being a part of Beit Tefillah. Please give a thumbs up to this video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so yet. A shout out and a shalom to everyone scattered worldwide in the dispersion. Everybody be blessed and have a wonderful day.